So first it's necessary to find the derivative in terms of x's. So here I've got h, whoops, get the pen going. So if I take the derivative of this, if I take the derivative of this, I'm going to need product rule, right? Because you see the product. So it's, let me get rid of that, okay. So I have first d second plus second d first. And you know the derivative of e to the x is e to the x. So this says plug in h equal 1. So h prime of 1, okay, so I'm plugging in 1, I get e. And here if I put f prime of 1, that's 2, plus f of 1, that's 3, e to the 1, that's e. So I just end up getting 5e. And I think I put the zeros here because I was thinking of doing it with h prime of 0, so let's just do it. So if I took this here and substituted in x equals 0, I'd have e to the 0, f prime of 0, f of 0, e to the 0. You know that e to the 0 is 1, so this would give me a 5 plus f of 0 gives me a negative 4 times a 1, so that gives me 1. This one here, you can see I've got to use quotient rule. So let's go do that fun rhyme. So it's low d high minus high d low, square the bottom and off you go. And you know x cubed squared is x to the 6th. So now I'm plugging in 2. So x equal 2 everywhere, right? Because this says you're plugging in x equal 2, right? X equal 2. Oops, come on, pen. X equal 2. So that means I'm putting in x equal 2 right here, right? So I get 8 f prime of 2 minus f of 2, 3 times 4, and then 2 to the 6th power. And so then here, f prime of 2 is 6, so I'd get 8 times 6. I'm just going to go slow so I don't make a mistake. And then I'd have a negative 1, so that turns it into a positive 12. And then 2 to the 6th. And that gives me 48 plus a 12. That's 256. So that gives me 60 over 256. And I'm sure you could simplify that, but I'm not concerned about that. Here we go. Let's look at the next one. So this one here, again, product rule. If you want, you could invest the time to rewrite that root x so that you see it's x to the 1/2. So h prime of x, first d second plus second d first. So that's 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to use space up here. I'm going to encourage you, anytime you see a negative exponent, write it in the denominator, because then you'll understand what number is really happening. Okay, so let's do that. So h prime of 4. So here I have 4 to the 1/2, f prime of 4, plus f of 4, and then times a 1/2, and this would be 4 to the negative 1/2. So can you see that that would be 1 over the square root of 4? That's an extra thing. Okay, so now let's plug in our information. So I get 4 to the 1/2, that's 2, and this would give me a 5, plus f of 4 gives me a negative 4, and then these two things give me a 1/4. So I'd get 10 minus 1, and that would be 9.